Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger, and it's time for us to take a look at another champion build video today. We're going to be playing as Kennen, and we're going to be playing him in the middle lane. I know a lot of people take him top as well. He kind of works basically the same in both lanes, just depends on who your opponents are based off of what your early items are basically going to be. And we'll talk about that in this build. We're also going to go over his abilities as well, and runes and masteries, and everything, and just some little strategies on what you can do to play him fairly well. So, starting off, at level 1, if you want to play safe and you're not exactly sure what you're going to be going up against in your lane, or just not sure what you want to do to resist the enemy, boots and pots is the safest way to start with him. You can also do a Doran's Blade if it's going to be a fairly stagnant lane and you want to poke at them, if they maybe have like an Akali in the middle, somebody who can't really do tons of damage to you early, so that's a way to do that. Also, if you're going to top lane and you're going to maybe go up against a heavy AD character, you can do cloth armor and pots, that'll work, or a Doran's shield and a health pot. So if you want to do that, you can try that out as well. Here we're going to go ahead and go for a fairly early gank. It's only level 4. We're going to move in and go ahead and just use all of our kit basically and our ignite. Pick up a quick first blood kill on the Ziggs player, and we're going to get first blood, which will definitely help us out as this game goes on. And we're going to go ahead now and talk about all of his abilities and his passive and what all of that does and what got us that kill. So starting off with our passive, it's called Mark of the Storm. All of your abilities add Mark of Storm to the opponent, which lasts for 6 seconds. If an opponent can be stunned for 1 second upon receiving 3 marks of the Storm. So and you also get 25 energy back. So kind of nice. Basically, whenever you use your abilities, you're going to mark them with that, and if you get 3 of them, you're going to stun them. You can see this Ziggs, every time I hit him with something, or maybe he gets a mark, you can see 1 of the 3 bubbles is filled, and once you get 3 of them, they are stunned for that 1 second. So that is what that is. Now at level 1, what we like to take is put a point into our Q ability, which is our Thundering Shuriken. And that's going to deal a lot of damage, actually, so that's why we're going to max this one out first as well, and that's going to do magic damage, which all of his abilities do. We're going to move in here, ult him. He's actually going to flip me towards him with this little thing, and so I'm going to secure the kill that way, so that happened to him, but I'm going to pick up a quick kill. So we're going to max out our Q ability first. That's definitely what you want to put your points into early. It's very good for poking them in lane, securing farm, and lots of other things, so that's a great ability to max out first. Then at level 2, typically you're going to put a point to your Electrical Surge, which is your W ability. Every 5 attacks, Kennen deals magic damage equal to a percentage of attack damage, adds Mark of Storm to the target as well. When you actively use it, Surge electricity goes through all nearby enemies that are affected by Mark of the Storm, and that's going to deal magic damage as well, and adding another mark. So that's very nice to get done and get use of. So basically, to get it to affect all the target areas, or all the targets in an area, what you have to use is basically your E ability, which is your Lightning Rush. You can see how I use it through all those minions just a second ago, and then all of them get marked, and then you would detonate it with your W. So your W basically is for detonating after people have been marked, and that's how it deals that additional damage. Their Kennen, which they actually have on their team, is teleporting in because Amumu was going to get caught by them. He's going to go ahead and ult as well, and we'll just go ahead and kill him real quick, and then Ziggs will throw some random nonsense at me, but I'll just avoid it and pick up another quick kill there. So that's how that works. Basically, Lightning Rush in, or maybe you hit them with your Shuriken first, then Lightning Rush in, and hit them with that, which will deal this magic damage as well. You also gain a lot of increased movement speed, and you mark targets as you hit them with that Lightning Rush, and then you'll basically then use your Electrical Surge. So you're going to see me doing this a lot in the game, so just watch how that works, and that is, that's what your electric or your Lightning Rush will do. So that is that ability. Finally, there is your ultimate, which is your Maelstrom. And what that does, basically summon that magical storm around you. It does magic damage based every second, and it is also going to add Mark of Storm. And you're going to stun people basically while you're ulting because you're going to be using everything else. It's going to deal a lot of damage. This is one reason why Kennen is a player you'll see a lot in ranked play, especially up towards the top. He is a good champion. Even if you don't do very well in your lane, he's just super viable all the time. So even if you have a bad start, once you can get to your level 6, if you can get inside a whole team and ult, you can basically stun a whole team as long as you hit them with a handful of abilities, which really isn't too tough. We're going to see some of that happening in this game. So he's a fun champion. Try him out if you've never played him, but we're going to go ahead and see how this all works. Now, talking about the items, that very, very first trip I went back to base, we did pick up the Hextech Revolver. It's great for in lane. It's got great sustain because it's going to give us spell vamp. It's also going to give us ability power as well. All these things are very important to have. And we finished off our boots fairly early in this game too, just because the movement speed's good and magic penetration. What the heck not? It's great to have, and that's what we're doing. So that was kind of the early items. Still have some health pots from earlier. Here we're gonna get caught in. I get caught in those 2 ultimates, and I cannot move in those, and that's gonna get them a double kill. But I did pick up an assist. But going back to the items, then I also did pick up a needlessly large rod fairly early because that's another important item we're gonna need. This trip back, you can see that I'm starting to build a little bit of cloth armor and a amplifying tome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 items along with that needlessly large rod. We're going to build those into Zhonya's Hourglass. Kennen, because the way his ult works and just the way his kit works, you can use all your abilities and go into the middle of a team fight and activate your ultimate. And similar to Fiddlesticks, you can then use your Hourglass to go invulnerable, and you will not take damage while your ult is still going off. So you can do that with Fiddlesticks, as I just mentioned. So basically, if you want to avoid all that damage, because you kind of have to sacrifice yourself a little bit to ult their whole team, since you need to be around them, because you need your ult to hit all of them since it's around you. So you got to kind of sacrifice yourself a little bit. And because of that, we build a little bit of defense on Kennen fairly early, so he gets a little bit more durability so he can live through using his ultimate. So that's just something to do. Here, got a good mark on the Ziggs. Gonna move in, use my ultimate, hit him too with that lightning rush, and use everything I have, and then scare Poppy away as she flashes, and secure another quick kill. So basically, I hit him with that shuriken first, and then I lightning rushed at him, and then I marked him with it, used my ultimate, and then detonated with the electrical surge, and that's basically gonna get you a kill almost every time. Kennen does a lot of damage regardless, so like I said, if you do fall a little bit behind, you're not doing so well, just try to farm best you can in lane. Get to team fights, you'll do fine as the game continues to go on, because he's got those stuns and he's got all of that damage, so it's very helpful. Now, this last trip we were back at base, we decided to pick up a little bit of magic resist. We'll be building that to come up into something. Ziggs is starting to hurt because it is Ziggs, and he's going to start to deal more damage, especially around the levels 6 to now is a good prime area for Ziggs. And I luckily play a handful of Ziggs, so I at least know what to look out for when I'm playing against him. And just something to maybe notice while you're in the lane against somebody else, to know their kit. If you know the enemy champion's kit fairly well, it'll help you avoid certain things. So, like if Kennen throws a Q, it'll be down on cooldown. Maybe you can then maybe trade with him a little bit, because the only thing he could do to deal some damage to you is just standard attack or lightning rush at you. So those are the things you just need to pay attention to. Here I'm going to move down, try to help him with his Kennen kill. One shuriken actually is just going to murder him real quick while he's ulting, because my shuriken is maxed out at this point, and it's going to be dealing a base of 235 damage plus 75% of my ability damage, so or ability power damage. So lots of damage just coming from that Q. You hit people for 400, 500, and even more later on in the game. Gonna move over here to the right as well as Teemo and Amumu and Ziggs is coming over here. I'm gonna flash in and use my ultimate and get all of them stuck in it a little bit. Activate some things, pick up a quick double kill. Ziggs, though, is gonna get away. He's gonna chuck some bombs at me, but not gonna hit. And we'll go ahead and maybe head back to base since we're a little bit low now. We can continue with the build. Now, when it comes to the recommended runes that I'm going to suggest, you're probably going to want magic penetration marks. As for your seals, you can go 2 different ways. You can go with either armor ones if you're going up to top lane, or if you just want more health, you can do like some health scaling ones. Those will work as well. Obviously, you don't need a mana regen because Kennen uses energy and not mana, so you don't have to worry about that. And then as for your glyphs, you're going to want your ability power scaling ones, and then for your quintessences, you're also going to want ability power there as well. So early on in the game, you're going to have about 20 or so. Is it 20? 25? I think it's 25 AP at level 1 with your mastery page setup as well. And as for that mastery page setup, that's going to look like a 2190 page, 21 in the offensive tree. It's going to get you everything you need there when it comes to just damage for Kennen. And you're basically just going to scale really well there with all your ability power, your penetration, and cooldowns, and all types of stuff. And then 9 in the defensive tree, pick up that early health and that health over time, which will definitely help you out. And then you'll also pick up, I think, a little bit of maybe magic resist or armor, just depending on what lane you plan on playing him in. So that kind of comes down to your preference. That last trip back at base, not this current one, we decided to build the Abyssal Sceptre, which is going to help us out with some penetration if they're around me, which is great for your ult because that should affect everyone, and you're going to get more AP and some magic resist. So now we have some good sustainability while we are using our ultimate when we are trying to fight. And we're just going to have that, which is going to be great. And then we also, this last time back at base, picked up a blasting one, so that'll be very helpful too. And here we're going to kill Poppy because she needs to die. Hooray, she's dead. And yeah, now we're going to help Hoyt, as Hoyt is chasing after some, who's he chasing? Teemo? He's going to find Teemo. I think Hoyt's going to find Teemo in a second and chase him towards the tower. And we're going to go ahead and help Hoyt, even though he doesn't need help. But what we're going to do is we're going to KS this, which as we all know is just kill secure. So that kill is now secured. And we're going to go ahead and then dive the Amumu and pick up a kill on him real quick so we can push this. I'm going to go ahead and use my Hourglass because that's actually going to get the tower to stop attacking me. And yeah, then we're going to run away. Because running away is fun. And when you're playing with friends, KSs aren't really a big deal. And I even called it in chat too. I even told him in Skype. I was like, KS this. Let's kill him. Anyways, so we're back at base, picked up another needlessly large rod. If you can't tell, we're going to be taking that blasting wand and the needlessly large rod and building that into your Deathcap, which is then going to turn into tons of damage, as it should. You need tons of damage to win tons of games. And yeah, we're going to keep working on all of that fun stuff. So, like I said, we're going to be maxing out your Q ability first. Now, when it comes to your other two, most people will typically max out your W second. It won't be maxed out till about level 13 though. And then you'll use your final points, put those into your E at levels 14, 15, and then 17, 18, since you'll put your ultimate points in at 6, 11, and 16. But what I actually like to do is Lightning Rush actually does a lot of damage if you just mark them with it. And the cooldown on it is nice because it's very good for getting away. Not only does it speed you up to get you into the fight while you are ulting, but you can use it as an easy getaway. So I actually, after maxing out my Lightning Shuriken, I'm just going to max out the other two fairly even, to be honest. I put points in a little bit of both of them. Here I'm trying to help save bonus. Going to go up and kill the Amumu real quick, but then their Ken's going to show up and use everything he has to murder me. So his ult's down now, and I will die because dying's going to happen. It is a video game. You're not going to live forever. But some things to maybe look out for if you are going up against Kennen is try to avoid taking hits from his Q in lane, or try to land them if you are him. Because not only is it going to deal that good damage, but it's going to give you that mark every time. So then all they have to do is run a little bit closer to you, and then use that electrical surge to get more damage off on you. So if you're going to take the Q, you're going to probably get hit by his W as well. So you really need to try to avoid those in lane. This Ziggs didn't do that amazing of a job avoiding some of those early, especially since Ziggs can pretty much farm and stand behind his minions. He should never really get hit by them. So obviously I was moving around in positions to make sure I could hit him, but even so, you need to be careful to just not take all those hits to your face, because obviously that's not helpful for you. So just something to consider if you're either playing as Kennen or playing against him. Just try to avoid the Qs or try to land the Qs. And like I said, it's going to deal a lot of damage. You'll see me hitting him with random Qs throughout this game, and you get to see the damage that it does to them. Hoyt's going to go ahead and pick up the double kill there, and Amumu, I think, is going to run away. Somebody's going to find him. There we go. Bonus is going to find him. And yeah, we're going to keep pushing and keep going. Right now we have a pretty strong lead right now. Not too worried about that. Work on this bear run a little bit. Poppy, I think, is going to show up, but she knows better to just run away. And we'll get a free Baron out of the deal, which is going to be lots of global gold for our team. And obviously, we all get the increased buff stats with Baron, so don't forget to take that. Also, you know, don't forget to put your timer on for your dragon, so you can take that, which I think they wanted to right there, as our Lulu dies to them, because I think she was warding. But I think we're getting to a little bit of a fight here. We're going to have Hekra move up. And I'm going to actually use my lightning way too soon. I didn't know he was still so far away. Now we're going to keep moving in. I am slowed, though, at the time. Still slowed, which is annoying. But we'll get up here eventually, and then we'll be able to use our ultimate and everything we want to, and pick up a kill on the Amumu, and then also go into our Hourglass to avoid damage from Ziggs as he dies to the Ignite, and pick up a quick kill on him. So that's just something we're going to look out for. Yay for damage. Now, we did pick up that Deathcap that last time back at base, and we are starting to build towards our next item, which is the Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is a great item, and now we have finished it. So now our build is getting pretty close to done. One thing I will say that you can buy, and it is a good item, maybe if you're falling just a little bit behind early, and you want to take your build just a slightly different direction, or if they're just extremely tanky, go ahead and pick up a Haunting Guise fairly early in the game if you just need some health, and you just need a little bit of damage just because you're not doing quite as good and you can't quite afford like a needlessly large rod for your Hourglass, but you can pick up other parts of it, like maybe just that first part. So you can do that and pick up a Haunting Guise and then eventually build a Liandry's Torment. So just something to pay attention to there, because the health's going to be good. It's going to give you magic penetration, which will give you damage. There's about half of Teemo's life gone with 1 Q from Kennen. So I want to kill him, but I missed. If I wouldn't have missed, I would have killed him. So just, you know, pay attention if that's something you need to consider early, because it's a little bit cheaper. You can see the enemy Kennen did that. He actually went Liandry's, and it's not a bad item. It's good, but the other ones will give you a bit more damage, and they're not so tanky, so don't have to worry about that. But this game's going to come to a close. You finish off that Hextech into a Will of the Ancients, and you have yourself a full Kennen build. But other than that, if you have any questions, you can put those down in the comments below. And other than that, I guess I'll just see all of you guys in the next build video. On here, we're going to go ahead and move in and ult them. Like I said, we have to get rid of Annie. She is going to go into stasis real quick, but I'm going to stand right next to her and kill her again, because she is the problem on their team, or at least the biggest problem because of her bursty damage.